All right, you guys, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you guys for being here. We are live. We are officially live. Um, Make sure you guys like and subscribe. As you can see there at the bottom. As you can clearly see, I'm in my humble abode, which is obviously, not real. But one day we'll get there. You never know. One day we'll get there. All right, so today I thought I would do a little fun reaction video. First one on the channel, I believe. I don't think I've done one yet. We're going to be reacting to some clips from one of my favorite YouTubers. I think his name is Tow Truck Guy or Tow Trucker. I could be getting his name wrong, but nevertheless, he is one of my favorite YouTubers, and his content is amazing. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get this started. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, we're all good. And yeah, we're just gonna start, you know? All right. So as you can see here, this is his page. He has a bunch of content on here. He actually posted a video last night. So we're gonna react to this and see how this goes. Make sure you guys check out his channel as well, just because he's a good creator. Hopefully, you guys can still see me. Hope I'm not messing this up. Oh, I know why. See, this is when you're new at this stuff, you start realizing that you have a lot to learn, and that was one of those moments. I'm like, why can't I see the actual screen? All right, here we go. So we're gonna watch the one from last night, and then yeah, go from there. If the volume's too loud, let me know. Well,
anyway, I'm fixing to hook this fire lane right here, y'all. This particular property got a new manager, and they're starting in on the new manager, parking on the fire lane.
crazy.
But they don't park there again. Anyway, he's parked right on the sidewalk, just really pushing his luck. But you got to be careful doing these impounds like this. People can come out mad as a hornet, but it is what it is. I'm going to sign out and roll to the yard. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. This is what we do. Anyway, we're rolling back in down here, y'all. Down here at Brookhaven. Anyway, we just rolled back in. I'm sure our fire lane parker is probably mad I'm sure they probably woke up by now and want to know where the car's at. But it is what it is. You get caught parking like that. That's what happens, man. We may end up catching another one of those fire lane tows. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't get another one. Earlier when I was here, there was one parked around this corner. Looks like there's another one here. Kia Sportage. And we're gonna grab it. Gray Sportage. We may not get a hook on this one. I don't know. We're gonna try though. I can tell you that. Definitely gonna try. Hey, you can't park there. Yeah, hey, no parking there no more. Yeah, she moved pretty quick. Let's see if this one moves here.
I would too. I'd move quick.
We got another one parked in front of his house. I don't know if we'll get in or not either.
Look at this. Like, this is crazy. Just imagine real quick, right? Just imagine real quick, right? You're at home, right? Wherever you live, right? You're at home. And all of a sudden, right? You just look outside and you see this tow truck taking your car out. Like, your heart's gonna drop instantly because you're like, what the hell, right? But what people don't realize, and I'm actually glad that none of these examples have happened yet, because I've seen a lot of his videos, and a lot of times people will come outside, they'll start yelling, they'll start hollering, talking about, oh, what are you doing? You can't take my car, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then it's like, he's respectful. And so he tells them, like, hey, like, I'm out here on a job. I'm hired to do this job. I'm not just on my own freelancing this shit. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to tow truck companies. See, a lot of times they will get calls from the property manager, from landlords, private sellers, investors, whoever, right? If somebody owns that property or that land and somebody else is parking illegally or doing something illegal, they're gonna get called on. Like, somebody's getting called. And so, like, and then again, like, I saw one video. I don't want to be misquoted, but this one guy. Well, a lot of the times, a lot of his videos are people like with no license plates, right, or expired tags or something. It's always something like that, right? Now, mind you, to get a new tag from any DMV is not cheap. I'm sorry, it's not expensive, right? Not that expensive at all. All right, you can get a new tag, whether it's a temp tag or whatever, a new plate. You know, you can reasonably do that. If it's expired past a year, like, there's no excuse in my mind, right? None. And yet sometimes people just feel like, that doesn't apply to me, whatever. I don't have to worry about that. I don't got to worry about that. And then they come get their car towed, and then it's like, oh, wait, I don't, what's going on? I don't know. And then it's just like, yo, like, you've had a fucking year to get your tags done, to get your registration done, to get this light fixed, to get whatever needs to be done for your car legally so it could be on the road. and you just don't do it, right? And so, like, when people start complaining about that, I always find it funny because it's like you knew this was a possibility. You knew that at some point your car was going to get towed, whether it was going to be today, whether it's going to be next week, whether it's going to be a month from now. You knew at some point this was going to happen because you're driving around with expired tags or expired registration or no registration at all, or, you know, let's say your lights are out or something, or there's a cracked windshield or it's damaged or whatever. And like, these property managers, they don't want cars like that on their property for obvious reasons. They're trying to bring clientele. They're trying to bring people to move in. And if they start showing around and people start seeing cars that are, fucked up and they don't have wheels on them, they're just being trashed and dumped and there's a whole bunch of trash everywhere. There's a whole bunch of whatever. That's not appealing to somebody. They're gonna think, "Hey, this place is a dump. I'm not gonna live here." Like that matters, you know? And then that turns away business. And then business starts going down because you have people that live there that don't take care of not only themselves and and their car, but also the property as well. It's a stain on the property. So I think a lot of times people need to start realizing that he's out there doing a job. He's not out there trying to be an asshole and take your car for fun, you know? And like I saw some comments, and actually he actually addressed this too. But he addressed the fact that like people think that, oh, he gets paid from the drop fee. It's $100 drop fee. He's not getting paid for that shit. Like that's not even enough to cover gas sometimes, all right? Especially nowadays in this economy. But like I don't understand these whole conspiracy things. It's ridiculous, but people do it. They genuinely believe that that's why he's out there doing it to get paid. And it's like no, he gets called out on a job from the property management, you know, whoever owns that property, or if it's a landlord, whatever, right? And then he comes out, he finds the car, it's stickered, right? They sticker these cars. This way they know and they take pictures. So they sticker the cars and then they go, hey, this car, they write on the license plate or whatever, and they go, hey, this car needs to be towed at this time. And then they call out the tow truck company guys. But like, yeah, like I don't know. I've been watching a lot of these videos, and I think that a lot of times people need to educate themselves on the reality that people like him who are honest do their job the right way, you know. And he's recording. Like, why would he do something illegal on camera? He knows he'll go to jail. So, like, it's just I don't know. I think people sometimes just don't think, but it is what it is. You know, people are gonna do what they do. They're gonna think what they think, and that's just gonna have to be the end of that. All right, let's get back to the video.
Anyway, that's a no parking zone there. This truck right here, I can't get it and get this car both. This one's got an e-brake on it. He'll get got. He will get towed.
It will get towed. That's right.
Almost guarantee it.
Car's a little shaky.
Anyway, we just rolled in with one with it's got a wheel knocked off of it or something.
Just talking about that.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to get straight. Load this one straight if I can.
Danger too close. Danger close. Danger close.
What's going on, buddy?
It's my car.
It's got a sticker. The manager told me to tow it, so I'm towing it. The manager said, "Get it out of here." She just drove past here. The manager just drove past here. She wants it gone.
That's the first time that I've ever seen somebody actually look at their car and see the sticker. All the other times the sticker's gone, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what that sticker is. I don't know." Like, people acting stupid. But like, this is the first time I've actually seen the sticker there, and they look at it and they go, "Oh my god." But like, this is what I was talking about. People come outside, they start talking. They're like, "Oh, what do you do? This is my car. This is my car." But it's like, bro, like you're fucked up. But we're gonna see how this plays out.
The insurance company bring it here. The tow, yeah. Well, listen, let me to save you a headache. Listen, if it goes to the tow lot, insurance is going to do the same thing they do here, except they do it quicker. He's mad, ain't he? It's a good little car, man. But you got a tie rod. Hey, this all this is broke. Axle's out.
See, this is what I literally just talked about. This. Look at that. That is fucking. Look at the axles. Look at that. You can see it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like that's just that. But see, that's what I'm talking about. You got things like this, and people think this is okay to leave out, and it's like, nah. I remember I was working on my car. What was it? 2 years ago. I had a Volkswagen, and where I lived with my mother at the time, and I remember we had like two parking spaces, right, and then we had the street. So it was my brother's car and my sister's car parked in the parking spaces, right? But then you had my car right behind them, right? But obviously I would move it if they had to get out. So at the time, like for about a few weeks, I was working on my car. Nothing crazy, but I was just working on it. And my mother would get calls from like the landlord and be like, "Hey, like whoever's car that is out front can't be right there. It has to be in a parking space." And so my mother would tell me like, "Okay, you got to get this car out of here because it can't be here, otherwise we're gonna get fined." I'm like, "Damn, okay." So I moved it to the next parking space. It was an empty parking space right next to ours. It wasn't our neighbors, but it was there. Same thing happened again. It was like, "Oh, he can't park there now." Why not? It doesn't belong to any of the neighbors. It's our extra parking space because we were actually owed three parking spaces because we had three cars registered. They didn't want to do that. They only gave us two. So we argued and argued for like months. Like we're not moving the car, whatever, whatever. Eventually, I wound up moving the car because it was becoming too much of a headache. But like, I never had something like this. That is just fucking crazy. To have the whole axle out, to have the whole tire and wheel ripped off, and just sat there. Like it's just you're gonna get towed. You just are. Like he can't even be shocked. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually glad that he didn't throw much of a fit because I think he knew. Like, yeah, I fucked up, you know. But we'll see how this plays out.
Pusieron una tica ahorita que vine y la miré. Y ahorita que salí estaba la remolque.
He just said, "Hey, the tow guy's here. He's gonna tow my car."
He's not real happy about this situation. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be either, but
I wouldn't be standing there either. That's trying to get a lawsuit. Oh, he hit me like about the. Oh my god. That's so we got to lift that. Yeah. Put something. Yeah, put something under it. God, that's awful. The car had to drive on the side rail. That's crazy. Oh my god. Oh I would be so scared right now.
Anyway, I didn't have it on video, I don't believe, but the manager, she pulled up beside me and told me, asked me if I was getting the Honda with the wheel off of it. I told her I'm here. Uh, anyway, that guy, it wasn't no payout. The car can't be here. She towed it. That's what they do. Wrecked cars get towed. I've been on this about the channel. I've told everybody on the channel about this. If you wreck your car, don't tow it back to your apartment complex. They're subject to tow it. That's just what happens, man. These apartments don't want wrecked cars on their property.
What did I say?
They don't allow it.
They don't allow it.
Anyway, we're going to sign out and roll.
And that is the end of that. Yeah, that's what happens, guys. Look, I literally just spoke about this like 20 minutes ago, I think, like in the beginning of the video. Like, apartment complexes don't like wrecked cars. They don't like cars that are being worked on or anything because it's bad for business. It's bad for business. They might like you as a person. They might go, hey, you're cool, whatever. But when it comes to the optics, when it comes to how it looks, they don't let that shit slide. They're not going to. They're going to go, hey, yeah, we can't have this shit. Sorry. You know, nothing against him. We can't have that. You know, and I'm glad the guy didn't throw like a huge fit. I mean, he was upset, but like I think he was more just like, damn, like they really like this is bad. You know, he's probably thinking I should have got this done before, or whatever. Like I'll speak on me for example. My whole car situation. I just got a car literally like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I have to get an oil change and I got to get my lights fixed. Right. Okay, but um I've been procrastinating for like, days, you know. Now, God forbid I didn't tell my landlord that, hey, I need to get this done. Somebody, whoever, doesn't matter who, some nosy person would have been like, oh, there's a car here that I don't recognize and whatever. Um, you should get that looked at and towed. That's what happens too, by the way. That part does happen. Um, yeah, I remember years ago, my car, not the Volkswagen, I had a Nissan. Beautiful Nissan. It was a Nissan Versa. It was 2017 Nissan Versa. Love that car. And I remember I bought it in October of, I think it was 20, I want to say 17, 18, I believe. Anyway, I bought the car then. Beautiful car. Drove around like it was nothing wrong with it, right? Absolutely perfect. And I'll never forget one morning I woke up to go to work because I was in the military at the time. And I remember just waking up, it was like 5 in the morning. And where I lived at, my window on the bottom apartment, you could look up and you could see like where everybody's parked. So you could still see my car there. So I'm like, all right, cool. About to go to work, whatever. And instead of just like leaving, instead of just leaving and being like, oh, I'm gonna um, just had to work right then and there. I was like, I'm gonna make breakfast. You know, I'm gonna shower for like a half hour because I don't have to be at work until 7, so I got plenty of time. Plenty of time. No, I did not. I did not. I had about 10 minutes before they towed my car. Why, you ask? Well, at the time, I was financing the car. Well, some banks that loan out the money for financing, they don't do the whole, oh, you miss a payment, you can make it up to us. No. These fools said, yeah, you missed your payment. All right, car gone. It's over. So while I'm in the shower, getting ready for work, and I'm, just planning my day out, right? I put on my uniform. I get my car keys. I start doing the, unlocking shit because you can hear it. I don't hear nothing. I'm like, damn, okay, maybe I'm just whatever. I go outside. My car's not there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm panicking. I'm like, there's no way. Who stole my car? What the, like, what happened? I'm thinking all these things. And before I called my landlord and said, hey, I think somebody stole my car, something told me to look at um, my profile um, on my financing application, right? Where I make my payments. Something told me to look at that because I knew that I'd missed a payment, but it was upcoming for me to pay one. I was like scheduled to pay one like literally within like a day or two. So I go look, and of course it says past due, whatever the number was. It was like 4 something, right? And I remember thinking, there's no way these fools told my car. So I called them, right? I called them. I was like, hey, like, did you guys by any chance tow my car? And they were like, what's your name? And I told them my name. And they said, oh, yeah, we came and got it this morning. You missed a payment on your car. And, we have a policy that states if this and this happened, then, whatever. And I'm like, what? So now I'm thinking, like, there's no fucking way that these fools just towed my car like that. But they did. They did. And, you know, they were like, oh, to get it out, it's like $1,000 some dollars or whatever. I'm like, I'm not paying that much. The hell? I'm not paying that. Even if I had the money, which I did, but even if I had that, you would still charge me for everything else. I'm not doing that. So they wound up selling it. It actually sold for more than what it was worth. So I got a nice little chunk of change from that. But like that shit was crazy. And I'm like, yo, like, I don't know. So it just made me think like of all the things that could have happened or whatever, or that did happen. It's like, you know, things happen. Things happen a lot. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, right? Well, speaking of cars, I'm about to go take mine for an oil change and yeah, get some other stuff done because I got to get this done. So, with that being said, guys, peace. Love you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you guys get your comments in. Um, Go follow the Tow Truck Guys channel as well. Like I said, he's an amazing dude who puts out really good content. He's an honest and fair dude. Go check his channel out. Very entertaining stuff. Um, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.